Thank you. We will move on to the next topic by Priya Jha. Priya, yeah. So she will be talking on mHealth, knowledge paper session.
Why can't I see it? Okay, there it is. Present. A very good evening to all of you. This is the last, I believe, the last presentation on this particular panel, or we have more? Okay, great. I'll try to stick to the time. I'm going to be presenting on a family planning method being offered on the mobile phone. Just to introduce you to the topic, it's called CycleTel. It's based on a method called the Standard Days method of family planning, and it's for the first time that actually a family planning method is being offered on a cell phone. My name is Priya. I work for the Institute for Reproductive Health. We are part of the Georgetown University, based out of Washington, D.C., but we have programs in many countries of the world. And I would especially like to thank our technology partners, ThoughtWorks, represented by Deepan here, and our donors, USAID. Why are we even talking about family planning? All of us have been exposed to a lot of media coverage on the 7 billion population that the world reached the milestone, so to say, and we realize that there is an urgent need to work towards population stabilization. India has a total fertility rate of 2.54, which means on an average, every woman has 2.54 children during her lifespan, which needs to come down to 2.1. And to do that and manage the population growth looking at sustainable development, many efforts need to be done to stabilize all this. And among the things, and one of the most important elements is expanding and developing new contraceptive choices, making them easily and affordable, available for all the couples who require to do so, as well as other issues like working on gender equality, decision-making power for women, and as well as looking at orderly urban transition, among others. As I mentioned, the Standard Days method on which CycleTel itself is based upon, it is a method which it's helpful in identifying the fertile days in a woman's menstrual cycle. So it's a modern method of family planning, scientifically tested, found to be 95% effective. It's natural and has no side effects. It's part of the WHO family planning guidance document and available in more than 30 countries across the world. So when we were looking at the Standard Days method, and we said, it's available in many countries across the world, why are we even looking at providing it over a cell phone? What is the value proposition of providing it on the cell phone? Because it's a fairly new method, it was developed only in 1991, so it's not very widely available. So even in India, for example, it's available in certain select districts, 12 districts of Jharkhand, a few districts in Uttar Pradesh, some other pockets in Rajasthan and Orissa. So it's not widely available. And to make it more widely available and accessible to a lot of couples, it was important to let the consumer have it directly. So what we call as direct-to-consumer approaches, where there is no requirement of a provider. The advantage being that SDM is a method which is knowledge-based. It does not require a clinical intervention, and therefore we thought it could be provided over a cell phone, and it also helps then in empowering the woman who may not want to go and visit a provider for reasons that we know about privacy, confidentiality, she's scared of side effects, she's scared what the doctor is going to do to her, or for that matter, that she may not even have a doctor to go to. So is there other ways that we can, reach out to those women? And we found that it would meet the need of women across all economic segments. It does not matter if she was urban or rural or rich or poor. Just for an example, in Delhi, 67% of the population in the reproductive age are using some sort of family planning method. We would think Delhi is the capital. Why wouldn't all women have access to family planning? But that's not the case. Only 67% use of family planning, out of which 48% will be interested in using a method such as this because they are either using periodic abstinence, which means on certain days they abstain from sex and they don't know which days they are abstaining. 6% are using a withdrawal method, which is unscientific, and 33% are using condoms, and they may not be using condoms every time. Also, we found that irrespective, a lot of assumptions are made that, upper economic level, they have access to money, they can go and buy contraceptives, they are, educated and more confident. But we found that women from the upper middle class, the middle class, the rich, were the ones who were actually practicing more withdrawal and periodic abstinence than the ones from the lower income level. And we all know about the mobile phone penetration in India. It's the fastest growing market in terms of new subscribers. So having CycleTel, which is getting family planning on the mobile phone, was the most an easy solution to perhaps reach out to all these women. It's an SMS service. It's not an application. It's an SMS service, and it alerts the women on her fertile days. Through an SMS again, but it requires an intervention by the woman in the sense that she has to send in the date of her period. So the service is customized for every woman for every cycle of use. It's been tested and built in India. We have followed from what we call as research to deployment, where we invested a lot of our time and resources on the proof of concept testing, then partnered with ThoughtWorks on the technology development. Currently, we are in the automated testing and partner development stage, hoping to have a product launch by early next year. The proof of concept, very critical to the research. That's what we do. We did focus group discussions, cognitive interviews, and manual testing to find whether there was a potential interest for CycleTel among the communities that we were targeting. What kind of messages would they like to read? What time of the day? Whether they want their husbands involved or they just want to receive messages on their phone. So we went through the process of proof of concept testing. Did it even in the city of Lucknow with housewives and then with working women in Delhi to be able to even segment our audience for such a service. The technology development started with ThoughtWorks last year on the same time. It was a very iterative process, very engaging process between us and ThoughtWorks, where we were able to use the findings of the proof of concept into the technology development stage. The philosophy behind the development of the technology was to keep it simple. It's open source so that it keeps the cost down, and it provides us an opportunity to scale it and add new elements to the technology as it moves forward. An evolutionary design, like I said, it was iterative. We didn't wait for the process to end to make amendments to the technology. We referred to consumer feedback along the way and made changes to the technology. The simple snapshot of the user journey is she sends a join message to the service. The service sends her back some screening questions to see if it will work for her or not. She responds via an SMS. Based on the registration instructions, she would then send the date of her period. Once she sends in the date of her period, she gets the SMS alerts on her cell phone based on the algorithm that has been made. That's a technology overview, just to show that how it works. An important element is the call center, where a user can call up and ask for any queries, or if she gets a message that she's not been able to understand, she could also call up and ask for clarification. Currently, we are in the automated testing phase where we are working with a larger cohort of study participants. We are trying to see how are the technology and the users able to interact with each other so that the interaction is seamless before we go to scale. We also want to identify that there is a seamless interaction between the service and users, as well as ensure that there's integration between CycleTel platform and the call center. The profile of participants, mean age being 30 years, employment, and this is of the Delhi phase where we are doing the automation testing. We found that 96% had at least one child and 16% were not using any family planning method, or those who were either using condoms but not every time. We also relied a lot on consumer feedback as we move along, because I think this is a service for women and their husbands, and we really have to keep them engaged. So we do follow-up calls with them to find whether they're satisfied with the service, if they have any recommendations. We try to get their feedback, both qualitative and quantitative. So, for example, we had a woman saying that my husband is otherwise very shy and he sits outside the doctor's chamber whenever we go, and I'm the one who has to go in. But with this method of family planning, we discuss it at home, and he's more engaged. So it really brings about couple communication, and spousal interaction increases. We also had women who said, we'll recommend it to our friends. It's very easy. It comes to us on the phone. At home, it's private. It's confidential, so they liked it. The timing of the day was found to be very acceptable to them. So we were also looking at what was the satisfaction and ease of use of CycleTel. We found that majority, 92%, were very satisfied with CycleTel. They said that it was easy to send and receive SMS to the CycleTel platform. What they liked most was that it was easy to use, it was convenient, and that it had no side effects. And we know one reason why women don't use family planning is because they're scared of side effects. We also found that 37% of the participants called the helpline during the first cycle of use, which the number got down to actually 15% in the second cycle, which actually tells that with use, with practice, they got better with using it, and having helpline support was definitely useful. Involving men, engaging men was very critical, because they have to abstain or use a condom on the fertile days. And we found that 76% said that that they could speak to their husband that it was an unsafe day and that they needed to use a condom or abstain. 23% said that they wanted their husbands also to receive SMS alerts. And we actually when we gave them the option for secondary phone number, we had women who enrolled for that. Then we also looked at willingness to pay, because we want to look at a business model as we move along, and we found that 83% said that they would be willing to pay for a service such as this, and it ranged between 15 rupees to 400 rupees a month, but the average was found to be about rupees 33 for such a service. What have we learned so far? Proof of concept is very, very critical to a development process. A great idea is sometimes might just be an idea. Unless you don't test it, don't do the formative research with it, you do not know whether there will be a target audience, will people like it or not. Customization based on user feedback, I think very, very critical, engaging the user throughout the process of development, through phone calls, through personal meetings, to identify what they liked about the service and what did they not like about the service, and what could we do to improve the service so that it fits into their comfort zones. Managing multitude partners is not easy. We have had a fantastic partner in ThoughtWorks for technology, but there are so many other the service providers, the telecom providers, the gateway providers, and the rest, and it's not easy, especially for an organization like ours, which is a university, research expertise, but we do not know how to manage these complex partnerships at times. Sharing evidence and experiences is very critical as we moved along the process. So from day one, we have been engaging with other stakeholders, sharing experiences. And I think one of the most critical things, which I have learned a lot, is patience. Sometimes very successful pilots like ours, there's a lot of expectation to scale up. We are being asked all the time, when are you going to go to scale? When is it going to be made available? I think that patience to be able to scale up is very, very critical. So this is a little bit about IRH and ThoughtWorks. And when I was mentioning about sharing of evidence, we have made it a point that we are there at every conference, every seminars, every possible avenues across the world where we've been able to showcase our work and get ideas. And that's been so important, to get feedback from stakeholders and be able to accommodate any suggestions that we can into the process. In terms of the way forward, and something that we have learned because we share a lot of these evidences, is to reach out to a wider audience. When we started with CycleTel, we never were thinking of bottom of the pyramid. We were really thinking of women who have cell phones, who know how to send messages, are literate. And because, these are women who may have access because they have money in their pockets and they're educated like me and you, but they are still skeptical about going to a doctor for a family planning service. So we wanted really to reach out to these women where the need is immense, but they're not able to access. But we realized that bottom of the pyramid is also a very important area that we need to address, rural audiences. We are currently working, just as the last slide, and we are currently working on an IVR, model of it. So it's built on the same thing. The messages are the same, but it's IVR, and we are going to be starting testing the IVR as well. And before product launch, put together a business plan. That's something, again, we are doing. We have received proposals from the top consulting firms like Boston Consulting and Tata Strategic Management Group, who are going to be helping us come together with a business plan. I think that's very critical, and we have heard it in a lot of sessions.